Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to the Product Marketing Festival in APAC. With product marketing experts from Singapore, Australia, China Mainland, Hong Kong, Malaysia, India, and many other regions. We'll be covering all product marketing aspects from sales enablement, go-to-market strategy, to customer onboarding, positioning, and messaging. We got them all. You are guaranteed to walk away with tons of new ideas and strategies to take your product to the next level. I would also like to take this chance to say a big thank you to all festival speakers. We cannot make this without you. Also, thanks for the support from iClick Interactive. Their presentation, Discover the Secret to Adapting Data-Driven Marketing in China, is scheduled at day 1 afternoon, 3:30 Singapore time. I highly recommend it if you have not signed up for it yet. Last but not the least, if you would like to interact with our speakers and other attendees, please join our group page link at the end. We look forward to the Q&A session and your feedback over there. Relax and enjoy the festival.
iClick Interactive's marketing technology platform is fueled by data. Our data helps to drive, connect, and enable every step of all marketing activities conducted on our platform. When marketing to China, the key challenge lies in the lack of quality and deployable data to start with. And this is where we come in to help. Every brand has its own target segment, and there is no one-size-fits-all solution. With our proprietary keyword-based audience identification engine, a unique solution among online marketing technology platforms in China, we help brands to move from rigid, predefined audience categories to intuitively defining their own custom target segments. The intelligence comes with in-depth audience knowledge in a multi-dimensional manner, from demographics and geographies to psychographics, giving brands meaningful understanding of their target segments on what they do, what they like, and what they care about. Brands can then readily size up their total accessible market opportunity and decide if it's right or big enough for them. And we don't just take a snapshot of these segments. We're capable of monitoring their changes over time, helping brands to drive the marketing funnel down from potential audiences and brand followers to website visitors and owned users. Brands can also benchmark specific product portfolio followers with actual sales to identify areas for growth. Getting to know your competitors is just as important as knowing your customers. Our platform allows brands to learn about their own position in the market as well as that of their competitors, helping brands to adjust their overall brand strategy. While the intelligence is good for decision-making purpose, brands can actually activate the data right away on the same platform via our massive media network in China, delivering messages to their target segments via the right channel, on the right device, at the right time. We also help brands conduct online-offline conversion by mapping their audience hotspots in the Chinese cities to develop data-driven, location-based retail strategy, intelligently converting online traffic to offline leads and realize smart online-offline integration. Having an accurate grasp of data intelligence is a vital first step to any successful marketing initiatives. With our ever-growing data capabilities, we look forward to empowering brands on their China-targeted marketing initiatives.
First of all, it's an honor to be here. Well, virtually here anyway. The product marketing world has got a great speaker lineup, and I'm really looking forward to hearing everybody speak. And it's just tremendous to be here speaking to you today. Before we start, I just want to make sure that you can all hear me okay and you can see my screen. Up here. Designing, creating, and building products is all about innovation, and it's hard. I mean, hopefully you all already know that. But that's why my topic's about bravery and innovation. I've got 9 key points that I'm going to share with you today, so just in case you get really bored and start watching Netflix or doing something else on your phone, you'll know how much of my presentation's left to go, and you can cut back in when we're close to the end. I lead the Advanced Experience Planning team for displays and peripherals at Dell, which basically means that I figure out what our next-gen technologies and experiences are going to look like. Before I was doing this, I set up a hotel, a business center, and several distribution businesses. So I've had my fair share of time as an entrepreneur. If I'm not careful, I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about myself, so I want to go straight on in. Why innovation? We hear about innovation all the time. Every time there's a new phone or a new gadget, you'll see reviews lauding it as the most innovative thing. You'll also probably get your boss talking about it a lot too. You'll hear things like, you need to be more innovative, or where's the innovation in this new product? Why does everybody care so much about innovation? The thing is, unlike synergy, it's not just a buzzword. The reality is that innovative companies perform a lot better. They drive higher revenues and they take more market share. So shareholders love it. So what does that mean as a product marketeer? I'm sure you probably all remember this chart from business school. It's a simple uniqueness versus value chart. If you're not familiar with it, you can pay a consultancy a lot of money, and I'm sure they'd love to charge you millions of dollars just to tell you that your product should be in the top right. But let's go through it very quickly so you understand what impact this has as far as innovation is concerned. In the bottom right corner, you've got a scenario where you deliver great value, but it's not very unique. You can't charge that much for it, so you're still fundamentally competing on price. And this is where a lot of our incremental innovation goes, all those small tweaks and adjustments that we make to our products. In the top left, you've got something really unique, but nobody wants to spend any money on it. So it's pretty much useless. And in the bottom left, you've got a place where all great product marketeers go to die. You've got no value and you're not that unique. This is like you spending an hour to pick your groceries via a website just so that you can go to the store and then collect them. If there was no pandemic going on, you could have just gone to the store and picked them up for yourself. At least that way you wouldn't complain that the apples aren't the right shade of green. The place you want to be is in the upper right corner. In that corner, you're really unique. You're going to be something like Lego. Kids love it. When you see them play with Lego, you're sitting there imagining them as designers or architects or inventors. And when they play with it, they just see colored bricks. It's a fabulous product, and a tiny little box of it costs a small fortune. Every toy maker in the world really wants to be Lego. So innovative companies drive great products and higher revenues, and that's why everybody wants to be innovative. But innovation's not just about money. It's not something that you can get into thinking, I'm going to drive a great new innovation and it's going to earn us loads of money. Innovation is closely tied to your company's mission or your, and not that sort of fake mission statement, but it's your core purpose, what your company is trying to achieve. So when you go out and ask different experts in the industry, what does innovation mean? You're going to get a dozen different responses. Everybody you speak to is going to come back with something different, and I promise you, not one of them is going to make any sense for your company. That doesn't mean that these answers aren't helpful. I mean, when you have a look at sort of all of these answers, or it doesn't matter who you speak to about innovation, they'll always come back with a couple of common threads. They talk about something new, something that adds value, and the scenario. They very rarely mention the product. In fact, none of the definitions in this particular slide mention the product at all. So surely that's a bit of a thing. We're product marketeers and we want to build innovative products. Your company needs to have its own definition of innovation, one that's tied to its business goals and that allows you to create products that better serve those business goals or that better serve your users' needs, because ultimately innovation is about the user's needs. So if you take away only one thing, define what innovation means to you and to your company and align it. It should touch your business goals, and hopefully it will talk a little bit about you doing something new and that adds value to your customers. But I can't tell you what that is. That's something that you have to be able to put together. Number 3, look everywhere for innovation. As product marketeers, especially ones attending a talk on innovation, I'm pretty sure we're all thinking, by and large, the same thing, which is, how can I make my next generation of products more innovative? But you got to remember, The word product was not in any of those definitions of innovation. So what does that mean? What do I do? Well, take this as an example. Yes, cute cat picture, you gotta go, oh. But I'm gonna give you bonus points if you can tell me what is so innovative about this particular picture, or what the innovation in this picture is. If you said it's the Samsung TV, you're absolutely correct. And no, it's not out of the frame. The box that the cat lives in, or the cat house box, that's made from the cardboard box of the TV. So this is a fabulous innovation. It's got nothing to do with the TV itself. I mean, if you think about it, really, it's the perfect lockdown gift. You know, you get an enormous amount of cardboard, you get lots and lots of ideas as to what you can do with that cardboard, and on the side they throw in a brand new TV for you too. You know, my kids would love this. Box doesn't just appeal to people that vote for the Green Party though. I mean, it also drives a good amount of PR. It's a great opportunity for Samsung to get some cat pictures into their feed and drive some extra likes. But the key takeaway here is that innovation isn't just from the core product. It can come from any part of your organization's value chain. So when you have a look at your org's value chain, you need to sit there and say, okay, wait a minute. Outside of just the product, what else are we doing that's great? Do we have brilliant processes? Do we have great customer service? Is there something that I can do in my packaging or my channel or my logistics to improve? Maybe I could do smaller and lighter packaging to reduce my shipping costs and reduce my carbon footprint. Maybe I could get better handling processes and reduce breakage. Where can you drive innovations that will ultimately benefit your customer and improve what it is you're doing? I often get sort of questioned on finance. How can we have innovations in finance? Well, I'd like you to think about Spotify and how Spotify massively changed the music industry. It basically took what was otherwise an a la carte model, where you went and paid for paid for the individual song that you liked, and turned it into an all-you-can-eat buffet of subscription music. Now that massively turned it on its head. I presented to a bunch of university students earlier this year, and every single one of them had a Spotify subscription. Not one of them bought a CD, because, I mean, who has CD players, or bought an individual track, because they all get their music on subscription. So think about financial innovation. Number 4, looking outside. I think it's really important to look outside of our product and our own organizations. We get really caught up in our own worlds, really focused on our products. But there's a lot going on around us. If you hadn't noticed, pandemic much. So you need to be able to forget what you know about your customers. Their habits and their preferences are changing really quickly. There's lots of external forces that are going to change the way they think and the way they look at what it is you're doing. And the pandemic really is proof of that. Observe, study, survey, interview your customers. Look at them and their interactions with your products. Look at their interaction with your ecosystem products, and look at their interactions with your competitor products. There will be something that you can learn there. And that is probably one of the biggest sources of information for you. Every so often something happens in the market, and that massively changes the way things happen, or the interactions between different entities in your space. And that's a market discontinuity. This is one of those rare occasions where this is something that we really need to be observing. What's happening or what's changing in other areas inside your industry? The interaction between your suppliers and designers, or the people that are delivering, your logistics team. There's lots going on. Have a look and understand, is there an opportunity for you there? Even if it doesn't directly affect you, there may be something that's going to impact the overall market dynamics. So now is the time to be really carefully looking at what's happening and figuring out, what does this mean for your business? Think of fashion companies and how they now also have started making masks that match their clothing. On the bottom right, we talk about orthodoxies. I know this is a little hidden by my video, but basically orthodoxies are things that are taken for granted, assumptions that we all work with, whether they're inside our company, inside our product, or inside the industry at large. And those are really interesting spaces for us to look. What would happen if we stopped doing something, or if we changed one of those orthodoxies? So challenge your assumptions, challenge the industry assumptions, challenge the industry norms. In between all of these, you've got white space. When you map out where your products are and where your competitors' products are, there's going to be areas where nobody's doing something. And that could be because it's just a rubbish place to be, or it's a place where your product's going to die. But there could also be opportunities for you to do something that nobody's done before, or service a market that wasn't otherwise being serviced. So look at what's happening, map everything out, try to understand where players are going, including new startups, upstarts, and what direction they're heading, and figure out, are there opportunities in between the spaces that are currently being serviced? On the bottom left, look at the companies outside of your organization. There's definitely lots happening in the startup world and in all these little new startups that are just itching to come in and disrupt your business. And that's a good thing. If there's something there that's happening, you want to be at the front of it. If there's a new technology or a new process that's an opportunity, you want to get on top of that. And Johnson & Johnson is a great example of this. I love this quote because it's just so true. It pays to remember that you are not the smartest person in the room, and you are not the smartest company out there. Somebody else may have done something that is just epic, and you need to be in a position, one, to know when it's happening, and two, to get involved or see how you can bring that into your company. I would be amiss if I didn't talk about diversity. I'm sure you've heard the expression, to a man with a hammer, every problem is a nail. Your expertise, your skill set, where you studied, where you grew up, all of that impacts how you look at things, how you look at your products and what you're thinking about. If you want to innovate, you need to be able to look at things differently. You need people with different backgrounds, with different geographies, with different histories, and that's why it's really important that you don't end up being this guy. If you've got the same people, or people with exactly the same background and the same expertise in the room, they're all going to have the same opinion. So, in simple words, the more diverse your team is, the better your melting pot of ideas is going to be, and the better the innovations you're going to be able to produce are. Number 6, be crappy. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying build crappy products. What I'm saying is build something. The shortest path to innovation is to actually building a product. Whatever happens, I don't want your ideas to die on a shelf. Get out there, prototype, build, deliver a product. And really, it's okay if your first version isn't perfect. You should expect to have failures, you should expect to have issues. And then you've got to go out and build a new version, and then another one after that, till you've got it right. And that constant cycle of failure, which is a bit of a cliche, is really true. I mean, obviously this doesn't apply if you're in pharma or healthcare because, don't kill us, please. But for everybody else, this is really important. Make those shots. Take the risks. I had the luxury of meeting a lovely lady called Natalie Nixon in January, and she's an incredibly talented innovation strategist. If you want to know more about how to develop and how to deliver innovation and creativity, I'd strongly recommend her book. It's a really great way to learn about the behaviors that you need and the process of developing yourself. But she puts it really nicely. Bravery comes before mastery. If you're not brave enough to push your products out, you are never going to be able to master them. So stop worrying about how stupid or annoying you're looking and just get on with it and do it. And if you're not a fan of consultants, then hopefully you'll be a fan of Star Wars. Master Yoda says exactly the same thing. There is no try. You've got to make this stuff happen. Number 7, say no to silos. Look across your organization. You've got loads of great people, and they're brimming with great ideas. You need to be able to leverage everyone in your organization. Talk to people. Run workshops or clinics to bring other people's ideas in. Set up contests for them to submit their ideas. and reward people for good ideas, or reward people for the ideas that you select. Whatever happens, don't be a victim of the not invented here syndrome. Nothing kills good ideas better than a silo or the not invented here syndrome. And importantly, stop looking backwards. As product marketeers, we love numbers, we love facts, figures, we love certainty. Certainty that our next product is going to hit a particular revenue number or hit a particular unit target. But the reality is, innovative products don't have historic data. That's why they're called innovations. You can de-risk a product, you can prototype, you can repeatedly prototype, you can do user validation, but at some point you're going to have to jump in and just say, hey, we're building this, we're going out. Don't get hung up on the numbers, start taking some risks. Whatever happens, don't be these people. And by the way, I love the Marketeernist. I think everything he does is so accurate in terms of what it is we face on a day-to-day basis. But this is really common, and this is why so many great ideas die. Number 9, be fearless. As product marketeers, you can't worry about what people think about you. You can't be institutionalized. You need to have the confidence to speak up. You need to be able to talk about your crazy ideas. You need to be able to roll with the punches, because you're going to get a lot of them from lots of people that tell you, that's crap, this is rubbish, change this. You have to be passionate, and you've got to be more than just brave, you've got to be entirely fearless. Anytime you think your job is hard, I want you to stop and think about this young lady, Mary Coombe, 6-time Olympic gold medalist. This is a person that's genuinely taken a lot of punches. To get here, you've got to put in a lot of hard work, and forget bravery, you've got to be outright fearless and numb to pain. This is my gold standard of where it is you've got to be if you want to be a good product marketeer and you want to be able to deliver innovation. You've got to be as tough as nails and not be ready to take no for an answer. Thank you for listening.